Relax, the keyboard is off and the press box is closed, but the mic is just getting warmed up. Welcome to the Hockey Writers Ink, the show where the writer is fresh off the presses and the ink is not dry. Join your host, Lance Green, the guardian of the blue paint turned writer, and co-host SteelFlyers, as we bring you all the latest on the Philadelphia Flyers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hockey Writers Ink, with your host, Lance Green.
All right, Steel, how are you?
Oh, my brother, I'll tell you, I'm doing fantabulous. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. So are the Flyers. So it's a good time to be a Flyers fan. I can't really say that, for many years prior. So, even with devastating news that Cutter Gauthier didn't want to sign here, things, turned around pretty quickly from that, and it's looking pretty positive, all things considered, yeah?
All things considered. In fact, that's amazing that you say that, because here we are, folks, man. Let's dive right in here, because we have a lot to talk about here in a short time to get there. We're talking about episode 153 on the Hockey Writers Ink, a Philadelphia Flyers-centric podcast that talks solely about your Philadelphia Flyers. Here we go, folks. Episode 153. Flyers moves results in immediate impact on the ice. And not only that, but we got the great, the awesome, the editor-in-chief, the guardian of the blue paint turned writer, released an article about said moves that the Flyers made on last week's show that we talked about. Of course, We're talking about the Cutter Gauthier and the James Drysdale move, and that's why I think we're getting right into the show here this week with the title of this show. The Flyers moves results in immediate impact, and then of course your article. You got to go over to SteelFlyers.com and check out. Suddenly the Gauthier trade doesn't seem that bad, eh? And man, Lance, I got to tell you something, buddy. Things considered, I give 2 thumbs up to the Flyers brass for how this was taken care of. I also give 2 thumbs up to the Anaheim brass for how they handled things, because they did not say a peep. Mm-hmm. Right? You know what I mean? About this whole thing down, and y'all know it was long in the works. Just based off of everything that happened with Cutter and how this whole thing went down and blah, blah, blah. So here we go. Jamie Drysdale comes in and he makes an immediate impact on the team. Now, he's only played in 2 games. Unfortunately, he's sick. So, guys, hey, P.S. clean the dog mask.
Right.
Spray that sucker down or something. And right, because you got the kids sick now.
It's probably stuffed in some, equipment bag or something like that, traveling with them. Who knows? But
that too. Not to mention the fact that it's been on how many heads in the Flyers house that's on. They've all been sick and whatever. Anyway, talk to me, Lance, about. Obviously, we know the inspiration behind this article, but man, your article was chock full of great examples and great information about just why the Philadelphia Flyers made out really well with this deal.
Yeah, I mean, they took the best of a bad situation that they could. Rumors were that they were talking to Colorado, the Avalanche, about a player with them as well, a defenseman. But I think they made the right decision in Jamie Drysdale. I hope he can stay healthy. Obviously, he's out right now. He's sick. It's been going around. All my kids have been sick, everything too. So it's just that time of year. So thankfully he's not injured, but it made a lot of sense. You see the team with him in the lineup, even though it's been only 2 games with him in the lineup, you see a difference, I think. And this younger team is exciting to watch, man. They are a run and gun team with him in the lineup, and more stretch passes. guy can skate it up into the zone, cycle the puck very well, dancing along that blue line, and it's just an exciting game with Drysdale in the lineup. Lots of chances. Just another guy, as with Sanheim, will jump up if the puck is there and put one on the net. He creates a lot of chances for himself. He sets up a lot of guys, obviously, with a point per game since he's been with the Flyers. Setting up two different guys for some amazing goals. Just love to watch this kid play. And, I think that it's exactly what the Flyers needed. They needed a first line right-hand shot defender, struck out with Ryan Ellis, of course, still paying, for that mistake, literally. And, but this kid is 21 years old. He's an exciting young hockey player, and he fits the system. He fits the youth dynamic that the youth movement that this team is making right now. It's an exciting team to watch, So, with him in the lineup, good things that are come for a lot of years, I hope. And, would have loved to seen Cutter Gauthier obviously be a Flyer. He's an amazing talent, but, for whatever the case may be, didn't want to be a Flyer, perturbed by, the fact that they didn't have the money to kind of bring him in earlier. I personally don't think he was ready at that time. If that statement is true, that he wanted to, sign earlier and come in, last season, I don't think he was ready. I think he needed to go back. Is he ready now? I think so. Obviously with the work he did at World Juniors and everything like that, being the tournament MVP. But I think he would have hurt his career or his growth if he started with the team that was in place last year. They needed to clear a lot of salary cap, get rid of a lot of players that didn't need to be here. And I think Briere and Keith are doing a great job of that. Personally, I think in a short amount of time, you've seen the difference that this team plays and the different, people that are implemented into this team with the couple of guys that we brought in free agency, helping out in the penalty kill, the implementation of that fourth line being so strong and giving those top three lines a much needed break. Just everything they have done up to this point has been good in my mind, and trying to make the best of a bad situation here with this latest move in bringing in Drysdale, and I think it pays dividends for the team moving forward, and we're just going to have to see.
It already has, I think, because in the two games that Drysdale has played, I believe in the second game as the quarterback of the power play, and what do you know? Within the first 20 seconds of the power play, he was able to feed a beautiful pass, and a goal was scored on the power play. I mean, that's making an immediate impact on the team that you now suddenly find yourself on. You know what I mean? And it's
and it was to Morgan Frost too, who's really been kind of struggling offensively. You hope for a little bit more than what he's giving you right now, as high as his point totals were last year. So if he can get him going and some of the other players, younger guys going, that'd be great for sure.
Well, the fact that we also got Atkinson got 2 goals the other night. Now, that wasn't directly because of Drysdale, but
right.
I mean, when the team plays better, everybody plays better, and when everybody plays better, it's better all the way around, no matter what. So we'll take better no matter what all day round. You know what I mean? So I honestly, we were all blown away by the trade itself, but when you really break it down and you really take a look at just what Flyers are getting, I mean, we talked about this before we were on the show, and a quarterback for the power play is one of the many pieces that are missing on the power play. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
The Flyers power play is ranked dead bloody last in the league. Okay.
Right.
So, and they even asked Tortorella the other day in the press conference and said, you know, and he was even like, hey, man, every once in a while, I guess you get lucky, you know, and you get the right combination and they scored on the power play. So even he doesn't have that much
faith in the team or whatever.
You know what I mean? In the power play, you know. But with Drysdale in and putting him out there as the quarterback on the power play, that paid immediate dividends. You know what I mean? And I think they're got to be onto something there with that. When you start getting guys like Tyson Forster going, and you start getting guys like Bobby Brink going, and you start getting guys like that going, you know what I mean? Like, it's like this team is just right on the cusp. Does it? You know what I mean? Like they're.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. You know, granted they are still dead last, but I think that if Drysdale continues to play on that power play and remains healthy, I think you'll see them suddenly shoot up because, like I said, he is an exciting player to watch, and he's gonna get other people the puck, and you know, the way he is able to cycle that puck around the zone, and even when he doesn't have it, he's taking chances and going right into the mouth of the goal crease. You know, all things that make for some exciting plays and some risks that you gotta take. And you know, he's gonna take risks. So, you know, having guys like Ersson back there in net to be able to stop them, like he has the past couple of games, is going to be needed from the goaltenders at that point. But in the same token, Jamie, you know, if he does make a mistake and turn the puck over or something like that, he makes sure to get back and correct that mistake by knocking that puck out of the guy's hand. He's that quick. He's that fast that he can recover and, you know, make good on his mistakes. So, you know, I can't say enough good things about, you know, Drysdale, and I don't want to jump on his bandwagon or seem like I am, but it's kind of easy to do that when, like I said to some fans, you know, via Twitter and via Facebook group messages and stuff like that on my post, you know, he's doing things that no defensive prospect or guy on the Flyers is doing or has done in quite a few years. You know, he is that guy. You can see the difference, and you can see that nobody else is doing or is capable of doing what he is doing right now. So I think that is the big difference. All right. He is that guy that can be that game changer for the Flyers. And, you know, I think that's, you know, why the Flyers brass decided to go after a guy. If they got to lose a guy like Gauthier and trade him because he doesn't want to be here, they wanted an impact player, and they got it for sure.
Well, I mean, you know, you can't. I was just going to say, Lance, gosh, man, you made some great points there, especially about his impact on just not just the power play, but look, let's face it, this power play is dead bloody last, and the only thing you can do is go up. You know, so the only thing you can do is improve. So the best way I think you can improve it is to maybe hire a coach that kind of has scored on the power play, so maybe has an idea about
has stepped foot out on the power play. Even that'd be nice instead of a bloody fighter that hasn't even scored a goal in the NHL, let alone a playoff or a power play goal. So yeah.
But hey, just me grasping at straws, have no idea what I'm talking about, have no clue, you know, that, you know, hey, a guy that scores goal on the power play might be a pretty good guy to be the coach of the power play. But hey, I have no clue what I'm talking about here. So speaking of having no clue of what I'm talking about, and with Drysdale potentially being that quarterback on the power play, which is one of the pieces that the Flyers need on their power play.
Sure.
Clearly they need that guaranteed finisher. I mean, do you remember when Lindros and Leclerc would get out there and Renberg would get out there on the power play? And it wasn't a matter of if they were going to score. It was just a matter of when they were going to score, because it happened every single night. You need power play like that, or at least some semblance of that. Look, I'm not saying you need to have a 100% power play. That's ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? But you got to be able to have somebody out there that can finish, and you need a quarterback, right? And I think they got the quarterback now. I think they just need that guy that can, always. Or is that guy already on the team, and can he step up? Could it be that Owen Tippett? Can it be that Bobby Brink? Can it be that Tyson Forster? Can it be that Morgan Frost? Can it be that one of them guys? I don't know, but you need one of them guys that's going to be able to finish. Do you know what I'm talking about, Lance? Mm-hmm. I mean, am I crazy? Right? I have no idea what I'm talking about, right?
Well, no, you're right. I mean, we don't have a Timmy Kerr out there who scored 144 power play goals for the Flyers. So it's got to come. We got to develop a guy like that, draft a guy like that, and hopefully with the addition, I hate to go back to Drysdale thing, but with a player, when you get a player like that, maybe he can help build a forward that can, put those goals in. That Timmy Kerr had, some pretty decent, defense back in his day.
True.
A Mr. Howe and everything like that, playing with him, setting him up. So, that kind of helps. But
slightly.
In that same token, it's something's got to come. A new coach, obviously, to get the job done. We haven't had one we've been struggling in the bottom of the barrel of power play for the past 30 or 40 years. Something's got to give. We got to hire somebody else. In that token, we got to get some player personnel that is able to come in, and assist on that as well, and be that guy. I think we did so on the penalty kill side. We brought in some amazing players, and you look at that. You look at that, and you got Noah Cates, who's coming back, obviously a big power play guy, which is coming back penalty just in time. A penalty kill guy. But you also have Hathaway, who came in this year, signing as a free agent, and has done marvelous things on that as well. And I think a guy like TK as well, is amazing. Like, he's the guy that's doing it offensively for this team, and but he's also able to go out there and kill some penalties as well. So kudos to him, and that's Mike Richards-esque. I think where he can play both sides and be a penalty power play guy and a penalty kill guy as well. So good for him, and and that token as well. So
I'm with you on that, man. I'm all down for, and I like what Jimmy called it. He calls it the power kill. Right. So I'm down with the power kill. By the way, ranked number 1 in the league. Penalty kill. I'm sorry.
Right.
Penalty kill, ranked number 1 in the league at 86.8%. I believe is what you quoted me that there.
Yep. 10 goals. Yep. Ranked
10 shorties.
First 10 shorties. Tied with Calgary for that first overall spot. 10 shorties. So that's awesome. I mean, the penalty kill is obviously working. And I think the team is
working.
The team is definitely more disciplined as well. Besides some players, some young guys are still taking some dumb penalties. We got to watch a guy like Forrester and get him to kind of stop hooking people and doing things. If those guys skate by you got to not hook them. You got to not impede them at all. You got to step it up with your skates. And he's been hitting the box a little too much for my liking. I'm surprised he's not sitting a little bit more. And when he does that kind of thing,
I think he's doing everything else right, though.
I do think he's doing a lot right, but he's also taking multiple penalties a game that don't need to be taken. So I might be in his ear a little bit if I was Tortorella, and be like, hey, you're giving it your all out there, but you got to keep that stick off him. It's not 1990 when you can do that back in the day, before you were born. But
right.
Yeah,
no, I'm with you because he has all the tools. He has all the way. He's doing all the right things, and he's making all the right moves. You just need to kind of use your head a little bit more and not use your stick as much anymore. Keep that stick a little bit more holstered there, would you please? I'm also gonna say this too. I'm very much pleased with how Joel Farabee has been playing as well too. I mean, guys just been stepping it up. And we finally got Cam Atkinson off the schneid. 26 games without a goal.
That had to be a breath of fresh air for sure. That was a long time for a player as good as he is.
Exactly.
To
Especially
go
when he
goalless.
came out so hot.
Yep. But Joel Farabee, like you said, in the past 10 games, he's got 11 points, 3 goals, 8 assists. Boom. And past 5, he's got 4 points in the last 5 games. So I mean, he's bringing it every night as well as TK. I think TK is out there every single night bringing it, doing something to hit that score sheet. So, that's exactly what we need in terms of a leader on this team. A lot of people are calling for him to be named captain. And, it's Travis Konecny, yes.
Yeah.
In the past 10 games, Konecny has 12 points. He's got 21 goals this year. So, and he's a plus 16. So he's not just bringing it offensively, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
He's doing it on the penalty kill. He's doing it in even strength and being a plus player, getting back. He's doing all the things right. Whereas before he hit that slump, and he was kind of just a chirpy guy. Like he had 24 plus goals for multiple years before that. He hit a little a year or two there where he wasn't bringing it so much offensively, but now he seems under John Tortorella to really bring it all in this year, and he's bringing the offense, he's bringing the defense, he's bringing that chirpiness side to get under guys' skin. He's really doing it all, and Konecny is looking to be a very person to be named captain. At some point, he's got to do it. He's got to name a captain for this team. And I mean, the kid's 26 years old. He's still relatively young. He's a veteran in the locker room, but at the same time, he's still young enough where that's going to be a job for him for the next couple of years. I think that's a good choice. I like Scotty Lawton, but personally, I don't know where he really is this year. He's kind of taken a step back, it seems. On
the ice, perhaps.
On the ice, on the
ice.
I'm sure he's a great locker room presence and all that, but he just doesn't seem like him out there, really. He's got 3 goals so far this season, 18 points, where last year he was bringing it. He had 18 goals at the end of last season. So he's well off the pace for that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's center, wing, what he likes, where he's at. I don't know. But other guys are bringing it every night, and I like it. I like what I see from the Flyers. I think Torts is in discussion for Jack Adams Award. I mean, as he should be.
I know
he has this team playing within a couple of points they're a point away from second in the Metro Division, only a
Well, they're
couple
fifth
points
in the
off,
East.
fifth in the East, but
Right.
second in the Metro, almost a point from being second in the Metro, and only a couple points now off the Rangers, where the Rangers were well above everybody else,
They've
a
kind
week
of
or
come
two
back
ago.
down to earth a little bit here. The
They
Rangers have.
they're settling in there. And being that team that we thought they were, I didn't think they would be a runaway favorite, but like the Bruins were or something last year.
Well,
But
that's the same thing too with Boston. Boston is kind of they've kind of hit their they've lost a couple of games too there for a little stretch. They've
right,
had their little bit of a misstep. The same thing with Tampa Bay, the same thing with Florida, the same thing with Carolina. But you're seeing Carolina resurge back. You're seeing Florida resurge back. You're seeing Tampa Bay resurge back. You're actually seeing Detroit coming to the fore as well. You're seeing Pittsburgh playing a lot better now. You know what I mean? Washington kind of sprinkled in here and there, but with Ovi out, it's been tough betting
yeah,
already for the
yeah.
Capitals. And
I think the Caps are kind of old. They really need to bring some of these younger players up next year that they have in the system now. They realize that they need to bring some guys in, and did in this draft. They drafted some great players. The Penguins are in the same boat. They have a couple of guys, but that core that was there for so many Stanley Cups is getting old. The Hurricanes had a lot of offseason transition, new guys in the lineup as they always do. They seem to be hitting their paces as a team now. The Red Wings look good ever since Patrick Kane has come into the fold there.
although now he's hurt,
He's a little banged up. Yeah, he's a little banged up now. So I don't know. Maybe, he could still be a great locker room presence for them and give them a little bit more veteran leadership there. The Panthers the same way. They had some turnover. When you make it that far into the playoffs and everything like that, some guys will want to go get paid. So, they seem to be hitting their stride again. The Maple Leafs, they got their key players and they are, producing for them. So it's interesting. I think you're seeing that landscape of where the Lightning are starting to be a regular team and not some, unbeatable force because of, you can only be good for so long before, guys want contracts and, star players retire or whatever like that. So they're coming back down. So I think it overall is a more even Eastern Conference division.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you don't have that insane runaway team this year. I think the teams are a lot more balanced for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And there's a lot more parity. In meaning there's the talent is divided up a lot more, but I still think that this whole division, the whole everything is going to be, it's going to come down to the wire. It's just going to come down to the end, how it's going to be, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it, and that's just how it is. And the only way the Flyers are going to be able to do it is if they can keep pace. And as long as they continue to keep doing what they're doing, winning some of the games they need to win, who cares if you go into overtime? And, that's another thing that the Flyers have really been doing really well at is winning games in overtime and in the shootouts. Okay? Mm-hmm. Which was something that was a weakness for them for a long time. Okay? But has now been a major plus for them to getting them that extra point when needed. Do you know what I mean? And those extra points are going to be, especially if you want to make the playoffs, you need to get those extra points now so that, at the end of the season, you're not scrambling around going, well, we need to win out the last 20 games in order, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that says a lot to Big Sam Ersson. I really like him in that.
Me too.
He's got
another shutout too.
Another shutout, 3 shutouts on the year to Carter Hart's 1. when he's played far less games. Same amount of wins in his 19 games as Carter Hart's 24 with 11. They're both tied with 11. He's got a better goals against average and just about the same save percentage. So really, really interesting that, Sam's bringing it on a nightly basis. And like you said, those key points and those key wins that he turns from 2 points instead of just settling for one with a loss in a shootout. Ersson's let in little to no goals during a shootout. He's been almost perfect all year long when a game goes to that. And you see that in his play and during the game as well. If a guy is on a breakaway, I feel much more comfortable with Ersson in that over Carter Hart. I'm sorry, for all those Carter Hart fans out there. I'm not a hater on the guy, but facts are facts. I think Sam is used to playing for a relatively bad team in Sweden in the SHL, and he's just developed. He's just developed some much needed skills if he's going to be in games and having to be that guy. He's capable of doing it. He's proven that. And, I at this point, I would give him some starts because I think he is hot, even though Carter Hart's playing decently, better than he has in recent years for sure. But, a 2.33 on the season goals against average for Ersson, says a lot. And for him to have the same amount of wins as Carter Hart in, 4 or 5 games less, says a lot as well too. His win percentage is pretty darn good right now, and he's amazing in that shootout. And I think if a goalie is going to be anything in this league nowadays, he's got to be able to perform in the shootout, and that's something that I was always good at. I didn't have the best defenses all the time. And it's a skill you have to develop if you're going to keep yourself and your team in the game. And I always loved when it was just me on that that player coming down on me, because I have faith in my abilities, and you can see that Sam has faith in his abilities, and he is just going strong right now, and that confidence is there. I think I would let it ride, man. Let him have some games.
So let me pick your brain here a little bit quick here, since you are the guardian of the blue painter and writer. Is that you? So you did say that it's a skill. Is it something a little different to learn as a goalie? To is that something you have to work on like separately? You know what I mean? The shootout. Do you know?
Yeah.
I know it's as a goaltender you get breakaways and that kind of stuff, but for the most part the shootouts are just intentional breakaways all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is something that, some guys work on. A lot of youth hockey, they, depending on who you play for, you may not get that too much of that individual goalie training and stuff like that. But it's something that they may throw in at the end of practice or something for fun. But a lot of times it's not that fun for a goaltender. But it takes a certain one that, lives and breathes that stress and thrives off of it. And I was always one. I loved it, man. I did shootout tournaments and won them and stuff like that.
There you go.
I trusted in myself, in the ability to be able to do that. And some guys despise it. They hate it. They play better with defense, relying on them to cut down the pass or whatever to the other side, and be stick checking that guy all the way down. I would tell my guys, like, look, if that guy's on a fast break, let him come. Let him come. I'll take his legs out. I'll if he drops his head or whatever like that, and you just be there to get the puck back. but that was just me. I don't want them to interfere in that sense. If you're beat, you're beat. Let them, let them come.
Yeah, let them come.
And that's what Sam looks like he's used to.
Last time we played,
he's used to having to rely on himself, and it shows, man. And that's exactly what is needed from an NHL goaltender nowadays. You need somebody to garner that extra point some nights and do it by himself.
Exactly.
So he's got my vote of approval for sure. He's just confident in that right now.
All day long, I would think. So, Lance, listen, why don't you tell the folks now, listen, well, you just released an article just the other day here about the Eagles, right?
Right.
Okay, so, guys, you got to go check that out. Lance's article about the Eagles. It's his first delve into the realm of football. And I got to tell you something. If anything like his writing is with anything else, good gravy. It's going to be chock full of facts and chock full of stats and everything that you're going to want to hear and see, even though you don't want to. So it's the article you never know you realized you needed to read.
That's a good way to put it.
Because it really gives you a lot of great information, just like all of Lance's articles. So, especially the one that we talked about here with this one, go to SteelFlyers.com. Suddenly, the Gauthier trade doesn't seem that bad, eh? That's Lance's latest. Anything in the works?
I got some ideas I'm kicking around for sure. Definitely probably work on another Flyers article soon. Don't want to give away what I'm thinking because I got a couple ideas. I don't know which one I'm going to settle on. I'm just watching some the games very intently, close, and trying to build some stuff there. Yep.
Sure, for sure. So that's great, man. Why don't you guys listen? Big thanks to Spreaker for all your help in getting us to all of the podcasting. All you have to do is type in Hockey Writers in the search, and we will come up, and you give us a 5-star rating. You'll be able to get to listen to our show anytime you feel like it on any one of your favorite podcasting platforms, from Spotify to Google to Apple to iHeartRadio. Just go check us out. Thanks to Spreaker for your help. Also, be looking for some new material coming out here from the SteelFlyers All Sports Network. We're trying to get together some stuff. Also, be looking forward to some new sections coming out on the website as well, too. We're trying to get some sections out there for to cover the rest of the Philadelphia sports world, with more Eagles coverage and more Phillies coverage for you guys out there as well, too. So, just expanding and being a little bit more, out there and all that other happy fun stuff. So be sure to hit us up on all of the Facebook groups that your buddy Lance and SteelFlyers belong to. Be sure to hit us up for there. Lance, why don't you tell the folks where we can get you and where we can find you?
Yeah, all my stuff is on SteelFlyers.com. Like Steel said, the website is always trying to grow and bring you more information for all your Philadelphia sports and beyond, and
and Pittsburgh stuff too.
Oh God. So we'll leave it at that. But and on X I'm Lance.Green39, and you can always catch me on all kinds of Flyers, Phillies, Eagles, Facebook groups, and I put all my postings out there on all their latest articles I put out on them.
Yeah, man, for sure. By the way, you got to go over to SteelFlyers.com, check out all the Lance's latest stuff. Also, check out the other shows, Prospect Watch, and the other shows from Hockey Writers Ink, and then also from the SteelFlyers podcast as well. I'm SteelFlyers. You can find me on Twitter at SteelFlyers52. By the way, I just want to mention something here real quick before we sign off. Today is a very special day. Every single sports team in Pennsylvania is in action, except for, I believe, the Phantoms.
Well, baseball too, yeah, but yeah,
and baseball.
Obviously, yeah.
Right, the Phantoms are not in, and I don't think Wilkes-Barre's in as well. But the Eagles are playing Monday night. The Steelers are playing at 4:30. The Flyers are playing this evening in St. Louis, and the 76ers played at 1 o'clock. So, I mean, all right. And Hershey even plays today at 3:00. So,
Mm.
So, well, thank you all very much for checking us out here. We are Hockey Writers Inc. Thank you, Lance Green, for all your great stuff. I'm SteelFlyers. We will catch you all on the next episode of the Hockey Writers Inc.